Hi, and welcome to Moving Through Grief, a video series to help with releasing the energy of grief from the body and the mind. I'm Lindsay, and I'm so happy you've decided to join me today. You might notice that I'm seated in a chair, and that's because we'll be doing our entire practice with a chair today. So even if you have mobility issues or mobility is a concern, this practice will be perfect for you. And even if you don't have mobility issues, I hope you'll stick with us and join me, because a lot of people find that chair yoga feels really supportive and really accessible. So the only thing that you're going to need for our practice today is a chair. If you have a yoga or exercise mat to put the chair on for a little bit of grippiness, that might be helpful. And then we'll also use a strap. And so this is just a yoga strap this happens to be a really long one, but they come in lengths of like 6 or 8 feet. But if you don't have that, then you can use like a belt or a necktie, an exercise resistance band, something like that, that just has a little bit of length to it. So I'll go ahead and set that aside for now. And we'll get started. And so what you want to do is just find a comfortable seat in your chair. Hopefully you have a chair that does not have arms. If it does have arms, that's workable, but it's best to try to find a chair with no arms. And so we'll just find a comfortable seat in our chair, hands wherever it's comfortable, maybe down on the legs, maybe flipping the palms up toward the ceiling, and drawing the navel into the spine. And if it's comfortable, start to blink the eyes closed. And take one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart. Just let yourself pause there for a moment, beginning to notice your breath. Following each inhale and exhale, feeling the belly fill and soften, the chest rise and fall. Letting that connection with the breath start to draw the thoughts in here, setting aside anything at all. It's not going to serve you here for this next little bit of time. Just coming into that awareness of inhale and exhale, dropping into this present moment. Noticing for a moment, taking a scan of the body and noticing any tension that you become aware of there. Softening the muscles of the face, the jaw, relaxing the throat and the shoulders, down through the belly, the hips, the knees, the ankles, feet and toes. Just feel yourself releasing tension as you find a little more connection to inhale and exhale. And go ahead and blink the eyes open. Bring the arms down along the sides. Inhale, lift and reach. Lift the gaze. Palms come together through center. Flip the palms and exhale. Lower the gaze. Inhale here. Lift and reach. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, up through center, lift and reach. This time as you exhale, you're going to bring the right arm down, left arm reaches, bicep in line with the ear. Maybe taking your gaze out under that left arm. Just breathe into this. Inhale through center, palms come to touch. Take that stretch the opposite way. Left hand comes down, right arm reaches. Breathe there for a few rounds of breath. Inhale through center. This time as you exhale, you're going to open up, twist off to the right. Just kind of take your left hand to the outside of that right knee. Staying lengthened up through the spine. If you feel yourself kind of sinking into the belly, zip up. Lengthen the crown of the head toward the ceiling. Inhale back through center. Exhale, take it the opposite way. Maybe you're taking your gaze out over the shoulder. Maybe your gaze is more neutral. Whatever feels comfortable in your neck. Bring this back through center and release there. And this will be where we grab our strap. And so we're just going to take this strap and loop it around the ball of the foot. And so we'll start with the right foot. And as you bring the strap around the ball of the foot, you're just gonna start to just lightly lift that leg up and kind of pull back on the strap. So it's gonna give you a little bit of tension there. And you may start to feel a nice stretch through the back of that right leg. Nice stretch for the hamstring here. And you've just got your hands on either side of the strap. If you notice kind of tension in the shoulders, let them soften away from the ears, root down through the sitting bones, rise through the crown of the head. Breathe into this. And then from here, you're gonna take both ends of the strap into the right hand. Just kind of take the opposite hand to the hip or down to the chair for a little bit of support. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, just kind of start to rotate that foot out to the side. So we're bringing it's the right foot off to the right side. Just a little bit of stretch for the inner thigh, the outer hip. And just breathe into that. If you're noticing lots of tension, lots of stress in the shoulder, you can kind of release the grip on the strap some and maybe even bring your foot more down toward the floor, pointing that direction. You don't want to feel so much tension that you sort of feel like you can't keep that smooth control of the breath. And just breathe here. Bring this back through center. Set that down. Release the strap from that foot. And we're going to take it to the other side. So we loop the strap around the ball of the left foot here. Both ends of the strap in either hand. And your inhale just sort of brings that foot up into the air. Kind of feel your hip plug back into the socket here. Notice my foot is flexed here, and I'm sort of pulling on the strap, drawing my hands back toward my body, which lets me get even just a bit more stretch through the back of that leg. And you can have some bend in the knee. If it feels really intense to have this leg relatively straight, give yourself a little bend. Be gentle and kind to yourself here. And then again, both ends of the strap come in one hand. So we're taking that into the left hand, opposite hand to the hip, or just reaching for the side of the chair for a little support. And just bring that leg out to the side. Breathing there for a few rounds of breath. If you feel a little shaky, totally normal. I don't know if you can see it, but my leg's shaking a little too. Totally fine. Breathe into it. Bring this back through center here. And we're gonna go ahead and release the strap. We'll set that aside from here. And we're just gonna sit a little bit forward on our chair. So if you feel yourself kind of sitting back on the backrest of your chair, kind of sit a little forward here so you can plant the feet. And notice I've kind of separated my knees just a bit, and I'm gonna interlace the fingers, flip the palms out, and then bring them up. And as you exhale, you're gonna round the back, press the palms forward. Inhale, arch the back, lift the arms up. Exhale, round the spine, press the palms forward. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, press the palms forward and round. Inhale, lift this up. Then from here, go ahead and release the hands down along the sides, heel toe the feet together just a bit. Take an inhale, and with your exhale, start to fold forward. Just bring your fingertips down to the floor. And you can keep the knees more relatively together here, or maybe separate the knees and give yourself lots of room to kind of settle the torso between the knees. This gives you a little more stretch through the hips as well. And just breathe into this. Let the crown of the head be heavy here. I noticed there for a second, I was kind of holding tension in my neck to look at the floor. I don't need to do that. Let your head be heavy. Just breathe into it. Couple more rounds of breath here. Then from here, heel, toe the feet back together. If you've separated, kind of walk yourself up. And we're going to take the right ankle to cross over the left knee here. And notice I keep this foot flexed. And you probably already start to feel just a bit of stretch through the outer hip. So just take a moment and give some gentle pressure to that right knee. And just breathe into that. And then we're going to take the opposite arm as you inhale, float that arm up. So the left arm reaches up, bicep comes in line with the ear. And as you exhale, stretch toward the opposite direction. Inhale brings this back up, and we're going to take the hand that's on that lifted arm, bring it down so the left hand comes to the right knee. Inhale brings the opposite arm up and over, reaching toward that opposite foot. We're getting a little stretch through the shoulders here, and you kind of gently twist to the left. It's a subtle movement though. Don't feel like you have to get super ambitious here. Release the hands, release the foot, and for a moment, just kind of rock the knees side to side. Even rock a little bit on the seat and shake that out. And then we're taking this to the other side. So you're gonna cross the left ankle over right knee. You might notice one side feels a little tighter than the other. That's this side for me. And we'll just start again by crossing the ankle over the knee, foot's flexed, gentle pressure to that knee. And you can stay right like this. If this feels like plenty of intensity for you, stay right here. There is no need to add anything onto this if this feels like you're at your max capacity. But if you're looking for a bit more sensation here, we're gonna take the right arm, inhale, reach it up, bicep in line with the ear, exhale, stretch off to the left. Inhaling back through center, that top hand comes down to the opposite knee and the left arm reaches up. Exhale, stretch the opposite way. And then here, bringing that hand down toward the opposite foot, and just a little bit of twist in that direction. Elbows are stacked here, and we're just breathing into this. Bringing this back through center, unstacking that ankle from the knee. One more time to shake this out just a bit. We're still shifted forward on our seat here. Notice I'm separating my knees just a bit, sort of kind of at a diagonal here, and my toes are pointing in the same direction of my knees, and I'm just gonna cactus the elbows here, drawing shoulder blades together in the back body, giving me nice broadness through the chest, maybe even slightly lifting my gaze up toward the ceiling. A little bit more work with some stretches through the side body. So I'm gonna bring the left arm down to the left thigh, right arm reaches up and over. Nice side body stretch for a moment. Try to keep the neck in line with the spine. And then from here, taking that arm that's reaching out to the side, and you're just gonna kind of twist off to the left, taking your gaze that direction or keeping it neutral if that's most comfortable. Bringing this back through center, cactusing the elbows. Breathe there for just a moment. Feel all that spaciousness in the chest. Then opposite way. Taking the right forearm down, left arm reaches up and over. Bicep in line with the ear. Notice I'm engaged through the belly, so I'm not leaning into this any amount. I'm just lightly resting my elbow, but I still have all engagement and stretch through the side body. Reaching a bit more as I twist that direction, take my gaze off to the right. Good. Back through center, cactus elbows, gaze toward the ceiling, maybe right where the ceiling and the wall come together. Nice. Bring this back down, hands to the thighs, heel toe it together here. Rock the knees side to side, shake that out. Yes. Now, from here, we're gonna actually stand up, but we're still gonna use our chair. So I'm gonna set my strap aside. And what I'm gonna do here, move this aside, is flip my chair around. You really don't have to. It kind of depends how you're oriented in your space. But I need to give myself room to step back here. And so I flipped my chair around so I'd have more space. So what we're going to do is just support our hands with the back of the chair. And you're going to step back with the left foot so that the right foot is forward. And notice as I step back, so I have my back heel on the mat, toes are pointing off at about a 45-degree angle. Hips and shoulders are squared toward my chair here. So, and I'm just gonna bend into that front knee. You wanna see your big toe just to the inside of your kneecap here. Breathing there for just a moment. And we're in a supported warrior one position here. We're getting a nice stretch down the back of that back leg, pressing down through the big toe of that front leg. And then from here, you might inhale, take the left arm up, bicep in line with the ear. And if you're feeling super steady and stable, you could always take both hands off the chair, but always keep one hand there if you feel a little wobbly. From here, both hands come back to the chair, and we're going to challenge our balance just a bit more. So both hands on the chair, we're going to do it in a supported way. We're going to start to place the weight toward this front leg as we get a little lighter on the back leg. So as I do that, I just kind of start to lift the heel of the back leg, shift my weight forward, and as I do that, start to place my weight in my hands, and we're lifting that back leg up. Now here's the thing. You do not have to lift this leg very high at all. If you're right here and you keep touching the toes down for a balance or helper, that is perfectly okay. The other thing you can do if you start to feel steady and stable is start to hinge forward. You could even bring your hands down to the seat of the chair instead of the back. And we're more kind of parallel with that back leg that's lifted. Try to square that left hip down toward the mat. If it's opening out to the side, which sometimes it wants to, square it down to point the toes toward the floor. And then from here, if you've taken the hands to the seat, walk them back up to the back of the chair, land that back foot. I'm at that 45-degree angle, heel down on the mat. And I'm going to remove some of the bend from this front knee here. Take an inhale, lengthen out through the crown of the head. As I exhale, I'm just coming down onto my forearms to fold forward a bit here. But I could even kind of pillow my forearms and take my forehead to the back of the chair. We're in what's called a pyramid pose stretch. And just breathe into this. Get a nice stretch through the hamstring of the front leg, bit of stretch through the hip of that back leg, and a little hamstring stretch as well. Breathe into it. Then from here, put a little bend in that front knee, step the back foot to meet the front foot, and we're just folding forward here, resting our forehead on our arms on the back of the chair. And just breathe here for a few more rounds. Take a moment to just observe the body. Notice where you've created a bit of change there already. Observe the breath. Observe the mind. And then we'll start to walk ourselves back up, hands back onto the back of the chair. And we step back with the opposite foot. So the right foot steps back this time, left foot's forward, back heel on the mat, that back foot at about that 45-degree angle, bending into this front knee. So the big toes just to the inside of the kneecap here. Probably feeling a bit of hamstring stretch and calf stretch down the back of that back leg. Breathing here for just a moment. And again, you might stay right like this, both hands down. If you're looking for a little more, maybe you take the right arm up, bicep in line with the ear. Maybe you challenge yourself even a bit more. Take both hands up, full warrior one. And if you start to feel wobbly, the chair is right there to catch you. And take both hands back to the back of the chair. And again, we're gonna do that bit more balanced challenge, heading toward what's called Warrior 3 on this side. So start to place the weight toward the front foot as the back foot starts to lift. So we get a little lighter there on the front foot, a little heavier, or a little lighter on the back foot, a little heavier on the front foot as you start to hinge forward. And you can keep these toes down. You can even keep these toes down the whole time you're doing this work. If it's enough balance challenge to just kind of shift back and forth like this, perfectly fine. If you're feeling a little steadier and you want to play with lifting that back foot up and coming into that hinge and squaring that hip toward the mat, or even taking the hands to the seat of the chair for that Warrior 3 balancing pose, breathe into this. Got 2 more rounds. If you're wobbling around and falling out, totally normal. You just play with it and see what shows up. If you've taken the hands to the seat of the chair, walk them back up to the back. Bend into that front knee. Land the back foot. From here, remove a bit of bend from this front knee. Maybe step your back foot in toward the front foot a bit. If you need to shorten your stance, take an inhale here, lengthening through the crown of the head. Exhale to start to fold forward, coming to forearms here, or maybe pillowing the forearms, taking the head down to the back of the chair. And we're in a version of pyramid pose on this side. Breathing into this. Few more rounds of breath. Maybe you notice the breath feels a little smoother. It's a little easier to rest the mind there. Then start to walk yourself back up. Unfortunately, we can probably stay there for quite a while. And step the back foot to meet the front foot. And same thing here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Coming down, forearms stacked, and resting the forehead there in a version of standing forward fold. Just breathe into it. And walking this back up, and I'm going to flip my chair back around again. Maybe you just need to walk around the chair and have a seat. And same thing here as we have a seat. If you're kind of leaning back on your backrest, lengthen through the crown of the head, zip up through the core, bring the arms down along the sides. Inhale, lift and reach. Maybe you feel yourself lifting just a bit higher. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, right hand comes down, left arm reaches. Try to keep the neck in line with the spine. Inhale through center, palms come to touch. Exhale, stretch it the opposite way. Similar stretches, same stretches that we did earlier in our practice. Feel if maybe you're reaching a bit longer, you feel a bit more length. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist off to the right. And staying nice and zipped up through the core here. Gaze can be neutral or over the shoulder. Releasing through center. Inhale up. Exhale, twist the opposite way. Maybe you're able to take the twist a bit deeper. Releasing back through center. Shift forward just a bit on your seat. Separate the knees here. Kind of heel toe them out a bit. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, start to fold forward till the hands come down. If you need to bring the floor up to you, you can always grab something to prop the hands. And let the head be heavy. Caught myself once again, kind of holding tension in my neck. Let the head be heavy. Crown of the head softening toward the mat. Maybe shake the head yes or no. Maybe for a moment, grab opposite elbows, deepen that fold. If you need the support of the hands, bring them back down to the floor. But maybe you hang out in this for a bit with that
opposite elbow bind, and you're just swaying side to side. Releasing any bind, then make yourself, or start to heel toe the feet back in. Walk yourself back up and come back to a comfortable seat in the chair. So if that means you sit back just a bit more to rest on the back of the chair, perfectly okay. Hands wherever it's comfortable. So maybe you've got the palms flipped up, maybe the palms are down, whatever feels comfortable here. And blink the eyes closed if that's comfortable. Take, once again, one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, and another few moments to just observe the breath. Inhale, exhale. Notice if perhaps the breath feels like it's traveling into areas of the body where it felt stuck before our work in this practice, or if it just feels easier now. Breathe deep on inhale and exhale. And then as you feel ready, go ahead and release the hands to that comfortable position. Come back to that awareness of the breath. Breath fills the belly on each inhale. Body softens a bit more with each exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Thoughts draw deeper in here. Notice for a few rounds of breath where you have that physical sensation of each inhale and exhale. Maybe you notice the breath in the belly or the chest, expansion and softening through ribs or side body. Maybe it's just the touch of the breath in the nostrils. Wherever you have a physical sensation of each breath, rest the mind there and feel yourself dropping in a bit. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now begin to bring your awareness to any emotions that you're feeling in this present moment. Maybe you're feeling happy or sad, joyful or peaceful. Maybe you're feeling chaotic. Maybe you're feeling angry. Notice what emotions come into your awareness, but allow yourself to notice for mindfulness, not because there's any need to judge what shows up or any need to change anything at all. Just become aware. And inhale, exhale into that space. Maybe feel yourself releasing your grip on those emotions. Allowing yourself to just observe them without attachment. Now begin to bring your awareness to any feelings of grief. Noticing where you have a physical sensation of grief in the body. Or maybe becoming aware that your feeling of grief feels like an energy moving through the body. Or that you have specific mental impressions of your grief. Or maybe all three. Notice how your grief comes into your awareness. Rest the awareness there for the next few moments. And then begin to come back to that inhale and exhale.
as that anchoring place for the mind. Tapping in to that nourishing quality of the inhale, that cleansing and purifying nature of the exhale. And at each inhale, feel yourself drawing in a sense of peace and calm. With each exhale, allow yourself to let go just a bit of feelings of grief and sadness. Inhale, peace and calm. Exhale to release grief and sadness, even if it's just letting go of a tiny bit. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Continue focusing on the breath, bringing in that nourishing, cleansing breath as you breathe in, cleansing and purifying breath as you breathe out. And gently begin to bring your awareness back into your body, back into the room. Lightly start to wiggle fingers and toes. And when you're ready, blink the eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.